All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises and glory and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well. Peace and blessings and citations to the hopeful elect, the Bayat Awadah, the house of David. All right, let's turn this up a little bit. All right, let's turn this up a little bit. All right, so what I put in here is, right, digital system technology with RFID chips in human bodies and smart cities. It says digital system technology integrating RFID, radio frequency identification chips implanted in human bodies, is transforming urban living by bridging biological identity with digital infrastructure and enabling, right, seamless access to services within smart cities. These subdermal, which means under the skin, right, chips, typically the size of a grain of rice, allow users to interact with their environment, right, with their environment by performing tasks like opening doors, making payments, and storing medical data through near field communication, which is the other NFC microchip. It says RFID technology in human bodies, application and function. Subdermal chips, often called biohacking implants, are typically injected between the thumb and the index finger, and they act as passive devices requiring no battery and activating only when within proximity to a reader. NFC RFID standard 1356 megahertz, right? So when you add in that 6G, right, which is another high frequencies of radiation, right, which helps power that chip as well, as you see. It says access control. It says unlocking office doors, personal computers, or home without keys. See, the internet of body, the internet of things, the internet of everything. All right, cashless payments. It says swiping a hand over a contactless terminal to make purchases. Medical records, storing encrypted critical emergency data such as blood type, drug allergies, and medical history for instant access. Adoption trends. It says over 50,000 to 100,000 people are estimated to have these implants, with significant popularity in tech forward regions like Sweden, where they are used for transit tickets and secure building access. Integration with smart cities. RFID implants act as a human barcode. You see, a human barcode, UPC, Universal Product Code, right? It says that connects individuals to the IoT, the Internet of Things, right? Infrastructure of modern smart cities, right? Intelligent transportation. Implants can function as a digital subway pass, allowing what is that, commuters to pass turnstiles simply by waving their hands. Automated security. In some jurisdictions, such as Mexico, these chips have been used to manage security access for personnel to sensitive government buildings. Healthcare integration, right? In emergency scenarios, medical responders can scan a patient to instantly access the digital health records, which is all on a blockchain. You see? So what we telling you up here is not far-fetched, man. What we telling you is what's coming and what they already have. Okay? And what's coming to a theater near you. All right? It says scan a patient to instantly access their digital health records for a secure database, reducing errors and saving time. It says public service access. Future applications aim to standardize these chips as passports or IDs and enabling seamless, contactless interactions with public infrastructure. Challenges, risk, and ethical issues. Despite the potential for convenience, the technology raises significant concerns: privacy and surveillance. The ability of authorities or employers, right, to track individuals such as location, working hours, or bathroom breaks is a major concern. Security risk. While generally secure due to short read ranges, these chips are What is it? Subably to cloning. What? Capably to cloning or hacking to steal encrypted data. Health and safety. Potential complications include infection at the injection site, and that's Revelation 16 and 2. We're going to get into them scriptures, man. We're going to get into them scriptures. All right? It says tissue rejection, chip migration under the skin, right? Okay, it says in interference with MRI machines. It says ethics and social issues. There is a fear of mandatory implementation by employees or governments, which has prompted legal prohibitions in at least 13 U.S. states. It says the market for human microchip implants is expected to grow, driven by advances in healthcare monitoring and urban efficiency, but widespread adoption faces barriers regarding public trust and data security. And it's going to come. It ain't no regarding public trust and security. They're going to push off this RFID microchip on the world, man. Right? Revelation 3 and 10. Okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. All right? You see? Because Yahweh Shem Yahshua, they're not men that they should lie, man. Neither the Son of Man that he should repent. Numbers the 23rd chapter and the 19th verse. Okay? Isaiah the 55th chapter and the 11th verse. Right? You see? All right, so let's go here. Okay? All right, let's go into here. Right? It says United Nations Agenda 2030 for a new world order. Right? The 17 Sustainable Development Goals that make up the Agenda 2030 essentially serves as the recipe for the coming technocracy, right? A technocratic new world order, right? The UN plans to have nations to continue to impose new laws and incentives upon their citizens in an effort to achieve these goals, which they lump under sustainability. Right, and that's the key word. You see, it says the agenda, Salakia 2030, is a ramp up from its predecessor of Agenda 21, and as it aims to control everything, control of all lands, water, energy, technology, production, information, animals, and all humans through AI, 6G, blockchain, and RFID. Thus, the elite, right, the international banking families, right. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Mancinis, the Bilderbergs, right? You see? And so on and so forth, man. All right? Them devils. Okay? It says, thus the elite, right? The tiny top, small hat, right? Amalek, right? It says the elite are setting the stage to enslave humanity under the rule of the Antichrist, which is, there is... There's many antichrists, man. All right? It isn't just no one person, or it's a spirit, man. All right? It's a spirit. It's not just a person, man. It's a spirit. Okay? It's a type of spirit that's in the air, man. All right? People who are against the Messiah, all right, which is Yahushua, okay? And against his coming. And so on and so forth. But anyway, let's continue on, right? So let's go over here, right? So let's read number 11 of their goal, right? It says, matter of fact, let's start at 10 to reduce inequalities, right? It says reduce inequality within countries, right? Bring development countries down to near poverty level while raising poor nations slightly above poverty level. Set as short-term gig jobs in a race to bottom the economy. Make cities safe and sustainable. It says move everyone into smart cities with a social credit score system, right? And that's what it's going to entitle about, with a social credit score system, right? You see? All right, your carbon footprint. Right, everything connected to via blockchain 5G, 6G, IoT, which is Internet of Things, IOB, Internet of Body, and AI, artificial intelligence, constant surveillance, and gun control. All right, you see. Let's read number. Let's read number. Let's read number 12 as well. It says ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. It says food and water is rationed is rationed base, right? Right, based off a social credit score, right? It says punish those who throw away food, consumption and frankenfoods and GMOs, right? GMO, genetically modified organisms. All right. Let's go here first before we get that here, right? Let's go and get this one here. All right, let's go up here and get this here. Right? Let's read this here. Let's read number 4. It says ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and lifelong learning. Dumb down education to indoctrinate. Upscaling, right, or upskilling and reskilling for new life and long learning gig economy as AI, which is artificial intelligence. That's why I've been doing a lot of those robotic videos that you've been seeing going up, because that's what the push is, man. All right, telling you that AI is going to take over your jobs and so on and so forth, man. If you're not catching on to this thing, then you're lost in the sauce, man. If you're not catching on to the purpose of why the videos are going up, then you're lost in the sauce. You don't know what's going on. You don't have the eyesight to see. All right? Only the men of the Lord have the eyesight to see. While the rest of you people out there just completely goddamn lost, man, and don't know what's going on. All right? You can't see beyond this world going to what it is, but this world going to be destroyed. Babylon the Great going to be destroyed. All right? Okay? It's out of here. All right? It says long learning gig economy as AI and robotics, right, will replace many jobs. Let's read number yeah, you know what? We'll read number 5. You know, gender equality, right? Okay, it says gender equality and empower women. Joke. All right. It says replace human into what is that, intelligence with AI to avoid incorrect judgments. It says promote radical fashionism, the trans sodomite agenda, and multiply genders. You see this here, man? Madness, man. Madness. Madness. Okay? Complete madness. All right? It says teach women to have less or no kids, abandon gender identity, and promote transhumanism as the new gender. You see this here? Oh, man. All right? Oh, man. Let's read number 6, clean water and sanitation, right? Ensure sustainable water management. See, they're trying to control the water. They're trying to control everything, man. And this is their plans. This is their new world order. But technocratical, totalitarian, authoritarian government, man. All right? If you're not getting what we saying by now, then you are just lost. You've been under a rock too damn long and you lost, man. You see? If this hasn't hit you in the damn head yet, then you don't know what's going on, man. You lost. All right? It says metals, fluoride, and nanotech in water, right? Control and monitor all water systems. Okay? All right? That was a picture of Yahushua. Well, a portrayal of Yahushua, right? It says, let's read no poverty, which they're trying to say, right? No poverty. You see? In poverty, in all its forms everywhere. That's a damn lie. You see, this is all a damn lie, right? All control, right? It says all will receive digital universal basic income, right? That's the CBDC, central bank digital currencies, right? income, and identity on the blockchain. You see that? It says distribution from rich to poor, right? Elimination of lower class. That's mad. It says BS, right? Two, it says end hunger, achieve food insecurity, and improved nutrition and agriculture, all by GMO foods, man. Foods made up in a damn laboratory, right? You see? Laboratory made steaks and all this other madness, man. All right? You see? Synthetic foods, man. Which that's what you eating now. But they're going to further push it and make it, it's going to get even worse, man. It's getting even worse as we know. Okay? It says more synthetic lab grown. See, synthetic lab grown. Everything lab grown, man. Right? Frankenfoods, GMOs, nanotech that affects DNA. Right? It says those with the RFID chip, right? It says will be able to buy food. And with Revelation 13, 16, and 18 talking about buying and selling. Are you getting it now? Are you getting it now? Is it registering? Okay, is it registering? You see? It says we'll be able to buy food resulting in zero hunger. Okay? All right? 3, good health and well-being. It says ensure healthy lives, right? And push well-being, which is a damn lie, right? Which is all a damn lie. It says more job production, right? There ain't going to be no damn job production. They're giving it all to AI, artificial intelligence, right? Robotics. You see, when you're going to be governed by drones, Palantir, Gideon, right? You see, locked off into a 15-minute smart city. Those that comply with the system of this new world order. All right? That's why they got a red list, a blue list, and a yellow list, man. Right? The red and the blue list are for those who oppose this new world order. And they will be put to death. Right? The yellow list are for those who are just goddamn stupid, right? Who are going to take that RFID microchip and your ass be thrown into a smart city. All right? 15-minute smart city. By the way, going back to CV19, when they told you about being 15 feet apart, that was more than a mere test to get your mind right. Right? To gradually push you towards, all right, well, hold on, 15 minutes, 15 feet, 15 feet apart. You know what I'm saying? Put the mask on. Right? Going back in that CV19. You see? You see where the gradualism comes in at? Okay? All right? It says future plan, right? It says demix to alter DNA. It says biometric sensors to monitor the body. Medical history will be on a blockchain. See that? Medical history will be on a blockchain. Right? Let's go up to here to 7. It says ensure access to affordable and clean energy. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy. Monitor all energy systems in homes and corporate buildings in real time. You see, this is what's going on here, man. What do you think is going on here when they talking about the energy grid and all these things of that nature, man? Right? Oil and things of that nature, man. What you think is going on over there, man? What you think? You see? It says cities, towns to institute blackouts to save on energy. 8, right? Decent work and economic growth. Promote sustainable economic growth, productive employment, and decent work. Replace workers with robotics and AI. There you have it. Right? Connect workers to VR headsets as the metaverse. What do you think Facebook, Instagram, and all of them, they all are part of the what? Metaverse. Okay? You see? It says, and will be the future of work. Right? Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. It says build resilient infrastructure, right? Promote industrialization and innovation. use robotics and AI to fully automate infrastructural projects and innovation, making people useless in the industries. Okay? All right? It's simple and plain. Now, I don't want to read that, but this is the one that I want to read. This is the last one, right? 16 and 17 are the most important ones, all right? Because this give you a full out breakdown, right? It says peace, justice, and strong institutions. Promote peaceful societies and inclusive institutions for sustainable development, right? Only those with the RFID chip, I'll repeat it again. Only those with the RFID chip and a digital ID, right? Passport with biometrics. Bio means the study and the length of the body, right? Data on a blockchain. Blockchain is what's going to consist of having that RFID microchip, right? Everything going to be put on that blockchain. What you spend, what you do, it's called track, trace, and control, man. Okay? All right? Data on a blockchain can be a part of the peaceful society. Social credits, right? Social credits, carbon footprint, right? Of what you eat and everything that you trace, that's what they're going to do. You ain't hear that devil Larry Ellison? That devil. All right? It says social credits will be used to get the population to obey the NWO, which is a new world order, and punish unwanted behavior. Those who do not comply will be imprisoned or have all benefits on the blockchain turned off. Right? Meaning turn your chip off just like that. It's off. Right? You see? 17, partnership for the goals. It says strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize global partnership for sustainability. In order to implement all 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, right, and maintain global partnership for the goals, a number of key technologies needed to be further pushed on society, such as the CBDC, central bank digital currencies, blockchain technology, which is a part of that, pushing it off, right? CRISPR gene editing, transhumanism, right? AI monitoring sensors, a AI biometric facial recognition cameras, which they have all set up, right? You got nothing but flock cameras. And I did numerous videos on this, man. But see, Esau gonna try to push those videos down. He don't want nobody. I did a video on it where this devil trying to push the video down, try to hide it. He's a devil, man. You see? Flock cameras, right, where they track, trace, and control. They know wherever you go. They know where you are. They do. Come on, man. All right. You see? All right. So 5G, 6G, smart cities, right? 15-minute smart cities, by the way, right? With EVs, right? Electrical vehicles. Henceforth, why you have Elon Musk with all these goddamn, what is it? The Teslas, man. All right. Energy vehicles, man, which they took from Nikola Tesla, by the way. All right, that's why it's called a Tesla. All right, named after a guy named Nikola Tesla. All right, it says smart cities, RFID chips, right? RFID chip, IoT, which is Internet of Things, IOB, Internet of Body, robotics, etc., to fully control the world. Right? You see that? A technocratical, totalitarian, authoritarian government. Okay? All right? So now let's go over into here, man. Right? So as you see, the Bible, Revelation 13, 16 to 17, right? You can read all the way down to 18, by the way. Read that verse too. But these two verses right here cuts everything of what people been saying. Oh, well, it's siege of Beaugier. It's a sin in all its forms and all that madness. It's not, man. All right. The mark of the beast is a RFID microchip. You see, right? Which the universal product code within that barcode, right? Within that chip is 666, the number of a man, right? Which is wicked. You see, that's imperfection. You see? All right, so I just wanted to show you this right here real quick, right? But let's get into the scriptures. You see? Let's get into the scriptures. All right, we can get rid of that. Matter of fact, let's go to this here. Let's go to this here first. Let's go to this word here first. Okay? Subcutaneous. Subcutaneous, right? It says being, living, occurring, or administrated under the skin. And that's the RFID microchip and the NFC microchip, the near field communication, right? You see? Now let's go in here and let's read it under here. Okay? It says under the skin, also in reference to operations, right? Under or beneath, right? Cutaneous. You see? Sub, right? It says under, resulting in further division, okay? Under, below, beneath, at, foot, right? Within, during, right? Doing, okay, or during. It says a little, somewhat, okay? Somewhat rough, right? And then as you go down here, you can read all the different definitions. Under, beneath, or at the bottom of, or adverbs, down, low, or lower, okay? And he goes contaneous, right? Pertaining to skin, you see? Right? From medieval Latin, contaneous, right? From Latin, cutis, the skin. Okay? It don't get simpler than that, man. Doesn't get any simpler than that, all right? Okay? So let's go here. All right? Let me get you numbers real quick, because I quoted it, right? But I'm going to get it. Numbers 23 and 19. Give you some scripture work. It says, Yahweh is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Have he said, and shall he not do it? Or have he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Right, and this is going to come. Right, Isaiah 55 and 11. You see? All right, it says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, and it shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Okay? All right, let me get Habakkuk. Right? Habakkuk. You see, it says for the vision, verse number 3, it says for the vision is yet for an appointed time, right? And it is for this appointed time, right? Because we at the end. It says for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, right? And this thing is not lying. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and it will not tarry. You see, because it will surely come and it will not tarry, man, right? And this thing is not going to tarry, right? So let me go here. Right? Let me go to Revelation. You see? Revelation 2 and 10. Okay? This is going into these concentration camps. Right? It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Like I did a video the other night telling you about what Walmart means. It means martial law. That's what the word Walmart means. You know? It means martial law. Straight up and down. Okay? Straight up and down. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, who's the devil? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right? Shall cast some of you into prison. Those prisons are concentration camps. That ye may be tried. Tried by what? That RFID microchip. Which they going to have? What they got? They got shipping centers in them concentration camps, which is fully operational and staffed, by the way. They got concentration camps. Shipping centers in there, guillotines, torture rooms, right? And so on and so forth, man. All right? And ye shall have tribulation 10 days, and be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. You see? And I will give thee a crown of life. Let's go over to Revelation 3 and 10. Because it's going to come upon all the world, right? It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, right? Which is Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30 and 7. Daniel 12 and 1. Just quoted them. You see? Just quoting those scriptures, right? Because this is what it's all entitled. This is what it's all about. It says, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right? So now let's go over here and get Revelation 13, and we're going to finish this thing up, all right? We're going to hit some scriptures, right? And we're going to go into some words here in the scriptures, right? So Revelation 13, let's go down here to 16. Okay, matter of fact, we start at 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You see? And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma, a mark, right? Let's go into that, right? Right along with the karax, which is the palisade, right? The thing that's going to be considered as it's the syndormal, the needle that's going to push that thing up under your skin, man. All right? Okay? So let's go here. Right? Charagma. Play it for you.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Charagma. Right? A stamp or implanted mark. Of the mark stamped on the forehead or on the right hand of the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. That's what it says there, right? Which is everybody, which would be considered the anti-Yahushai, man. Right? 2/3 of our people are anti-Yahushai. A lot of this damn world is anti-Yahushai. They don't want the Lord to come back at all. All right? It says the mark branded upon horses, right? Because when you brand something, you signify and show it that it's yours, that you own it. I own your ass. That's what you're saying. Okay? So when they sell cattle, right? When a farmer owns cattle, and many different, he put his mark upon all of his animals to signify that it belongs to him, right? These come from my farm. So they put a typical type of brand upon it, a specific type of brand upon it to show that they own it. Okay? It says the mark brand upon horses, thing carved sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. All right? You see? A sketch, a scratch, or etching, i.e., stamp as a badge of servitude. Right? It says a sculpted figure, statue, graving, mark. All right? So now, let's go here. Right? You see this here? Karax. Right? It says from a carasso, right, to sharpen to a point, a keen, to through the idea of scratching, a pile, salakia, a pale or a stake, a palisade or a rampart. It says pales between which earth, stone, trees, or timbers are heaped and packed together. All right. It says sharpened to a point, a keen, right, through the idea of scratching, a stake, i.e., by implication, a palisade or a rampart, right, that's the needle, right, that's going to be put under your skin, right along with inside of it the RFID grain of rice chip to be put subdermally under your skin, man. That's what you go to it. That's it right there. Okay. All right, it says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. Buying and selling is transactional, right? Let's do this here, right? Buying and selling is transactional. I'm going to show you here, man. Okay? When you buy something, to be in a marketplace, to attend it, to do business there, buy or sell of an idle people, to hunt the marketplace and lounge there, right? To buy, redeem, okay, properly, to go to the market. What is that? To buy food, many different other things of that nature. To purchase, especially to redeem, buy, redeem. Okay? All right, let's go into the word sell. Right? To barter, to sell, sellers. What do you think you do when you go to the store? You're buying, you're purchasing things, right? When you sell off things, what are you doing? You're selling it to make make an income. You see? All right? So you understand, man. All right? To be busy or to trade, to barter, right? As a pendler, right? I.e. to sell whatever is sold. Okay? And that's people who own these stores, man. Okay? They're selling what? Items. Right? You see? It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that haveth understanding count the number of the beast. Now, the universal product code of Babylon the Great consists of 12 digits. All right, the three lines, right, in the universal product code is 666. And the other 12 digits is how you scan. And when you scan things, that's how you know, right, that it's a reader. You see? So you understand, all right? It says, here's wisdom. Let him that haveth understanding count the number of a beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 6. Now, right? Let's go over here to Revelation 16. Revelation 16 and 2. It says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sword. Now let's go to that note. The word grievous and noisome, right? And the word sword means hell coast. All right. So let's go here. Okay. Sword. Play it for you.
Strong's G 1668. Helkas. Helkas.
Helkos, right? A wound, especially a wound producing a discharge plus a sore or an ulcer. You see, a sore or an ulcer. I did a video on this, plenty videos on this, months and months and months back, man. And numerous times. You see? All right? And from high frequencies of what? Radiation. Because that's what's going to power that chip. Right? The 6G, right? Which is high frequency, which is nothing but a high frequency of radiation, man. All right? You see? It says an ulcer as drawn together sore. Okay? Now, let's go in here. It says a grievous sore upon the men which had the mark, which is the charagma of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. See, and upon them which worshipped his image. Let's go down to verse number 10. It says, and the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, okay? And his kingdom was full of darkness, right? Full of darkness. Full of darkness. Lost, not in the know. You see? And they gnawed their tongues for pain. You see, they gnawed their tongues for pain, right? Because of that pus, that hell coast, right? That grievous sore, right? That came upon them from taking that chip. You see? All right? So now let's see. If you take that chip, Yahweh Shem Yahshua will destroy. It's my last scripture. Revelation 14 in verse number 9, right? It says, doom for worshippers of the beast. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hands, or in his hand, Salakia, or hands, because there's people that's going to have two of them in their hands, okay? And their foreheads, the BCI, brain computer interface. Right, you got synchronized, you got Neuralink, right, and you got many different other forms of the BCI. Okay, it says the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and that's going to be those missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Okay, that's going to set this place on fire. Right. See? And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. The Lamb is Yahushua. All right? Because the hopeful elect is going to sit there and watch Babylon be destroyed. They're going to watch it from far off in the chariots, and they're going to watch how this place get obliterated and burned by the missiles. Right? The missiles going to touch down and just obliterate this joint. Okay, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest nor night, have no rest day nor night, and who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience, and here is the patience of the saints, and here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahushai. You see. All right, so with that, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Marakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. We well, peace and blessings and citations to the hopeful elect, the Bayal, Tawadah, the house of David. Kwam Yashala, Abba Babal. You take that shit, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai will destroy you. Shalom.